Hi everyone, this is Arcadius and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be going over the British destroyer Legion, primarily her new update in which she got a radar equipped to her, becoming the first radar equipped destroyer in the game, which has its advantages and disadvantages, and we'll go over that in a moment. But before that, let's go over the notes from the last two updates that have come out. Not a lot of things, but still a couple things we can take a look at. Alright, so this is the update that came out about a week ago, September 7th. And we got a festival pack. I didn't think it was too impressive, so I didn't get it. Shikuma is now in the arena ship pool. Yamato refit. She has a like a seaplane reload booster, believe it or not, which cuts down on the reload for when she can launch her fighters. For me, that is actually somewhat useful because I use my Yamato refit as a full anti-aircraft ship. Um, but even then, it takes a 60-second reload for the fighter down to like a 15-second reload. So it's still not immediate, but it does cut it down if you immediately need a fighter. But honestly, fighters are not that useful in this game, or at least from carriers or from non-carrier ships. But I mean, it's still a slot, and you don't have to sacrifice anything for it. So I mean, it's okay. Chukuma also got the same thing, the seaplane reload booster, pretty much, but you have to use it in place of your hydro, and I honestly would prefer to keep the hydro because the way that my torpedo planes already work, or my dive bombers, I don't feel the need to have the reload booster, so I'm fine just having the hydro. Works out. This is also when Legion got her radar. It has had some changes though, so we'll get back to that in a second. Glowworm has had an increase to her rate of fire, couple changes to matchmaking, and Oyoto got a cruiser aiming system module. But for Oyoto, you only have two main guns, so I go for reload and rotation so you can actually use the guns when you need them, which you will definitely need them. This week's update is a little bit different. We have three more event ships that came out that you can now buy since the events are now finished. Kitsushima, Kronstadt, and Garibaldi. Kitsushima is one that I actually did not have. It's that little seaplane carrier kind of that has two twin 5-inch and pretty much nothing else. It's actually a fun little ship if you look at the stats, which we will tomorrow because we'll go over her in a video after this. But I mean, as long as you don't expect big damage games, she's a fun ship. She's not a very influential ship, but she's a fun ship. Kronstadt, you all know my opinion on Kronstadt. It's a big cruiser with 12-inch guns, but until she got the new aiming module for large cruisers, she was kind of just an inaccurate shotgun. She's a little bit better now, but I still don't say I have fun games with her. Garibaldi, on the other hand, one of the best light cruisers in the game, by my opinion. Really fast shells, really good guns, accurate guns, even pretty good secondaries, honestly, if you, well, at least the damages are. Torpedoes, A, defense, fighter, you name it, she has it, and she's good. I love that ship. Sister ship for Chapayev. We have another British cruiser, light cruiser that is, previewed in the shop. We did already have a developer dialogue on it. It is the Max AA British cruiser. We can take a look at that when we are in the game again. Some changes to arena rewards. Some more changes to matchmaking. Hornet got a little bit more damage for her torpedo bombers, which is nice because that's kind of what she focuses on. And then Vallejo, for me, that's Charleston. Rate of fire was increased from 5.5 to 6.0. But I did play her with the 6.0 rate per minute, and it still feels very sluggish to me, and I still do not enjoy playing that ship. But enough of that, let's switch back to the game and show you what we're doing today. Now, before we do that, let's just take a quick look at Akitsushima to show you what you're looking into. So this is that little, seaplane carrier, as you can tell. She has two twin 5-inch guns and a handful of anti-aircraft guns, but nothing else. Her main weapon is actually this plane. It drops 2 torpedoes each time, and we're so close to the ship that it's almost a guaranteed hit. The ship is not going to be powerful by any means. and it's very questionable on if she can change the course of a battle or not. But it is a fun ship. I've only broken 100k once though out of the few games I've had so far, and that was only because I was being chased by 4 battleships. But we'll go over her tomorrow. She is pretty fun, so if you are interested in purchasing her from this most recent update, take a look at that and see if you would like her as well. And then we also have the British Gloucester over here. It's a Minotaur hull with some changes. I don't really like the look of this ship at all. But let's just take a look at her stats first. She has 144mm guns, so the only one in the game that has that. But 30 rounds a minute means they reload in 2 seconds, and you can cut that down even further. So she's going to be a rapid-fire machine gun. Low chance of fire, but the fastest shell velocity in the entire game at 1220 meters per second for HE and AP. So she's going to tickle everything to death extremely fast. You can see some of her base stats here. You got some torpedoes as well, gun range, secondary range, speed. Her main thing as an AA cruiser is her AA, which, here we go. It's actually pretty substantial. It's over, what was that, 602 DPS total, and that's already out at 5 km. You can upgrade that with crew skills and modules to increase that even further by an extra 40%, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I don't really like the look of the ship, especially these side-mounted secondaries. Like, why is this barbette so high up? It just looks ugly to me, honestly. I have no real interest in getting this ship, which is okay because she's a rank point ship, and so we will eventually get her, but I have no burning desire to race to arena and spend all my time there. But yeah, so this is another cruiser, so if you are interested into it, she's got the torpedoes over here, some over there. Yeah, see what you can do with her. Alright, back to today's game. Legion. I actually really like this little nifty destroyer. It's got 4 twin 4-inch guns, so she's kind of like an Akazuki, except she has twice the number of torpedoes, at 8 and 2 quad launchers. Not sure they have the same kind of stopping power as an Akazuki torpedo, but it's still nice in a bind. Add to that, she has some pretty okay anti-aircraft defense as well, and she can even equip the anti-aircraft barrage, which is the only British destroyer, question mark, that can equip it. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a bonus right there. We got the British smokescreen, got her repair, and then I have her with main battery advanced defense module, steering, and gun reload and rotation. Now, normally I run her with anti-aircraft barrage because I have a hatred for planes, but we're going to show off the radar. It is a pretty good radar at that as well. It's a 9-kilometer range, and the scan precision is 2 meters, which means that if the radar says the ship is here, it's going to be right where it shows it. It's only good for really finding the location of ships. You can't lock onto them. It's one of the main reasons why I don't really use radar in this game all that much. I'm not complaining about it. It's how I would like it to work, but it's also at the same time not very useful for the way I play. So with that, let's toss her into a game and show you what she can do. Alright, here we have ourselves a game. 3 battleships, a bunch of cruisers, and a handful of destroyers. No carriers, which is fine with me. And we got a lot of cruisers to prey on, which unfortunately the radar won't be very good against those at all, because, well, they'll be big cruisers. I outspot all of them. But we'll see what we can do with the radar against the destroyers. Real quick, she has had some changes as well before this. I don't know if I mentioned that or not already in this video, but she has had an increase to her rate of fire, which actually makes her excel quite easily in any kind of gun duel, and especially if you use the auto fire function when ripple firing. It's, here, actually I can show you. Oop, that's not how the game works. So if you just go boom, 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 and then auto fire, it's just rapid firing, and it's so nice. Right, so let's get back to the game. I'm pretty sure when it goes like that, yeah, the game breaks. Alright, give me a second. Alright, here we are. I had to restart the game. Let's go back into action here. So let's pop a radar, see what we have. There is nothing within 9 km of me. I guess that works out then. I forgot how far range our torpedoes are. Let's take a look. So we're about to the battleship here. 7 km or so. Alright. Oh, we do have a radar return over here though. Or we did until the radar went down. But yeah, there we go. We got the Benson over here. And let's go full auto fire because it's just a huge rainbow and I love it. And you can just see how quickly the ship is melting. And you can do this with any ship you come across. Alright, so we're going to rush down the Tone and put some torpedoes into her side if we have to, but we may just be able to gun her down, honestly. Lighting lots of fires, or at least one fire so far. Just hitting the superstructure. Switch over to armor piercing, which will cancel my ripple fire, but we can citadel her. Alright, let's start heading back in the other direction. And let's re-equip auto fire while we turn around. But yeah, the ship is just there to melt other ships. And even before the rate of fire increased, she was already good at this. And let's cancel auto fire for a second. Let's just toss some torps out here. Don't really need them, but why not? There's no other target near me for the time being, so by the time I do need them, they'll be reloaded. We're just going to keep hitting her with high explosive. And those torpedoes will finish her off. Cool. Next. We got the New Orleans in range over there. There's only one destroyer left. What is it? New Strashimi. Alright. So she's probably down there. Near Charlie. Oh no, she's right there. Well, let's see if we can finish off this New Orleans. Equip auto fire and just let the rain begin. And there she goes. Yeah, the ship is actually very, very fun now. If you don't already have her, definitely recommend it. Now, this Thrashimi is pretty fast. I don't think I can hit her before she goes out of range. Oh, we did get her a little bit. Ooh. Oh. Alright, so now we're... Actually, you know what? Let's smoke up a bit. We haven't used any of our smoke screens yet. So why don't we just do that? We're going to switch over to armor piercing as well. And I will show you how strong of a beast this ship is with armor piercing as well. Just going straight for the upper belt, not even doing any fancy shooting. But just the amount of damage you get per shell and how fast you can send these shells out is ridiculous. Let's aim for a slightly different spot here. Let's go for the stern. Stern's always nice and weak. And there we go. Oh, poor Mogami. Alright, we're out of our smoke screen. And let's just start heading back towards this Mogami. We're going to switch back to armor piercing because this ship is going to go down a lot quicker than she will realize. Or at least once she gives us a good... well, I guess it still worked out. Alright, cool. And we have Balti over here. Gonna switch over to high explosive. We're gonna actually nose in because we need to find those other two battleships as well. Oh, she's gonna give us broadside. We could also just armor pierce. Alright, let's try to switch over to armor piercing here for a second. And yeah, she's pretty much going to be down here anytime now. I'm really curious to see how much damage I get from these guns, because the main thing about this ship is her guns. Alright, do we have any ships within 9 km? Nope. So the battleships are not anywhere over here. They're probably over... Yeah, there they are. We got a KGV and a Lenin. Okay, so those are actually pretty dangerous towards me, especially the King George V. But let's see what we can do to get into a good position. We can smoke up. I'm not quite sure who's spotting them as of right now, because there's no carrier. But we'll find out. Alright, so we got the Lenin in our sights. Ooh. Let's just send some high explosive downrange, see what we can do. Had to switch over from armor piercing there for a moment. Let's slow down so we can smoke up here in a moment. And yeah, you just keep raining down shells. Now, I do see a lot of them are shattering and ricocheting, but the ones that are not are still doing damage. Though honestly, armor piercing might be okay from this side. King George V has a larger superstructure, so let's see what we can do against her with our high explosive. Got a fire. Let's switch back to the Lenin here. While the King George V burns a little bit more. But yeah, this is literally just how you play the ship here. We are going to have to position ourselves a little bit better though, since we are out of our smoke screen. So let's race forward, because then we can start using armor piercing against Lenin, because we'll actually have enough pen to do something. Let's see if we can get another fire or two going on here. Oh, we got one. We are in secondary range now. Let's pop some torpedoes out. Auto fire does stop. Let's send both. Once you switch over to torpedoes or another armament, but continues as soon as you switch back to the main guns. We're going to take some more armor piercing chunk damage out of her. Aim for the bow, which kind of makes my torpedoes worthless at this point. But you know what? It's the thought that counts. And they still might hit the target before I can sink her, so. There we go. And King George V. Switch back to high explosive. And see if we can finish her up. Nope, she's already gone. Alright, cool. So, I'm assuming a lot of damage, because we actually did quite a bit with our armor piercing. But let's see how we did. Alright, so 223,000 damage, 6 ships sunk, 949 shell hits, almost 1,000 hits. We also had 2 torpedo hits, 3 aircraft shot down, 1 citadel, 11 fires, 1 flooding, 1 module destroyed, 1 capped base, 2 defended caps for 10,700 base XP and almost, well, actually over 19,500 free XP. Main battery, 69,000 damage in high explosive, 110,000 in armor piercing. It was probably a lot near the end when we were getting some good damage on Vladivostok. No, it was Lenin. It was Lenin there. Fires did 36,000 damage, and torpedoes did a measly 6,000, but we didn't really use them all that much. As you can see, she's not really the best with a radar. I'd still prefer the defensive AA over any kind of radar. You can use the radar effectively if you want to hunt down destroyers and smoke screens. By all means, go ahead and do that. But overall, I like to pick on bigger ships than destroyers. So with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe, and join me tomorrow if you are interested in seeing how Ikitsushima plays, and in case you would like to buy her. So again, thank you so much, and take care.